Hey, what's up, everybody? It's been a couple weeks since I've been out on the water, man. I had a cold there right around New Year's. I think I got a New Year's Eve. Probably about 6 days. I just sat on the couch, did nothing, dying to get out here. We've had some really nice weather. So anyway, today got out of church. Said, hey, I'm going fishing. I was hoping my 16-year-old was going to come with me, but he said he didn't feel well, so he didn't. And trying to figure out where I was going to go. I think I was going to go to 206 Bridge area, Crescent Beach. But I saw that the wind was southwest, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Been there before, a lot of flats, kind of wide open. Didn't know if that'd be real conducive, so I decided to come down here to Favor Dykes. If you guys haven't visited this place, if you're in this area, if you're watching this video and you're not a kayak fisherman, you're just, someone who lives in the area or someone who loves to visit this area, this is a beautiful area to come. I highly recommend it. It's very rarely ever crowded, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's really a neat place. So anyway, we're going to try Favor Dykes today, see what happens, go from there. So this is my first spot. This is a little ditch that kind of runs through. It's really shallow at low tide. I figured that the sun's been beating on this thing pretty good. It's a mud flat, so the water should be a little bit warmer on it. But man, and the wind's like blowing right through it. Of course, we still have a little bit of an incoming tide, so I'm not sure this is where they're going to be. But I'm going to set up here. I'm going to throw a few casts in the wind. I'm just going to kind of make some fan casts. May even throw behind me here. Just to see what's going on. Don't have a whole lot of hope, but I'm going to throw a 5-inch nuclear chicken jerk shot on a 1/4 ounce jig head. Hopefully I can feel it, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so the first spot didn't work out. That wind was killing me. I couldn't go anywhere. And so I came back, same place I've been videoing. Didn't want to come back here. But anyway, it was one of those things I knew it's not necessarily protected from the wind, but at least the wind doesn't affect me as bad in here. So I'm going to give it a go. Maybe I can put a few things together. And myself. So when I left the house, bright sunny, 20, maybe 20% chance of rain today, maybe 30. Little storm just came across, like only lasted about 10 or 15 minutes, but it was enough to soak me. Notice I did change clothes. I did have a change of clothes. But dingleberry me, I actually left both my rain suits at home. I had a rain jacket that it was actually on the boat, and I took it off. I'm like, I'm not going to need that today. And then in the hatch, right below where that camera is, I actually had a spare rain suit that I had in here for my son. That's one I use when I go play golf. It's my golf rain suit. I took it out. I had 2 chances today to have a rain suit, and I don't have one. So I got soaked, but fortunately I had to change clothes. I got a sweatshirt in there too in case I get cold. I have a change of pants too, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. But yeah, so I just ended up paddling way back up in here, fought this west wind, tried to kind of keep warm while it was raining. And I'm going to see what happens here in a minute. I'm going to have to change batteries real quick, but I'm going to give this a go. I'm feeling pretty good that I might be able to catch something now. So here's a couple of questions while I'm waiting on a bite. So I'm trying to figure out, this is one of the things I haven't really put together yet. So where do the redfish go when it's high tide in a creek like this? Like, this creek goes back for a pretty good ways, probably another, depending on how high the tide is, I mean, it could be a half mile, it could be probably over a mile. And there's all these little cuts that, you know, spread out all over the place. And I came out here in an extremely high tide. First YouTube video I shot, I went way back up in some of these places. I've been, you know, it's funny, you look at the map, I've been like way off, you know, where any water was on a map. So where do the redfish go? Do they get back there? I've never seen evidence of them. I haven't seen them back there. I've seen some bait, you know, here and there. But, you know, I never caught anything back there or anything like that. So what I'm really trying to figure out, you know, is do they kind of hang out in a spot and just kind of go dormant from a bite standpoint? Or do they move up and back a lot, you know, with the tide? And, you know, I haven't really figured out how much redfish move. And that's a part that I'm really curious. It seems to me that they're always on the move. That would be, you know, just kind of what I've pieced together from, you know, watching, you know, people who are really good at fishing for redfish and, you know, who've talked about it, articles I've read. You know, that's just kind of what strikes me, is that, you know, redfish move, you know, a lot. But, you know, what I'm trying to figure out, you know, is where do they go, you know, in a place like this? Because it's fairly limited. Now, this creek, I mean, you go back out of the ramp and kind of go to the left, which will be back toward the west. You know, you can get back to the intercoastal pretty quick. There's a bunch of flats and stuff like that. I've never fished back there. And I was actually thinking about doing that today, until I saw the wind forecast and saw it was southwest winds, you know, 10 to 15. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get it's going to be really hard to get out there, and, you know, it's going to be really hard to fish. So, I don't know. You know, how far do they move? You know, and in a creek situation, you know, do they stay in a creek like this all winter and just kind of move up and back with the tide? I don't know. Help me out. Okay, so while I stopped here, there's a little oyster bar right up here. Remember the last time I was here, I kind of marked it right before, right around this little entryway here, or this little ditch. It's actually not even really a ditch, it's just kind of a little area that cuts out there. I want to throw a little bit around it. There should be some bait around it. Really, the other side of it is probably where I'm expecting to fish, but I want to fish both sides of it real quick. There's fish, as I figured there might be one. Oh, nope, red. Decent little red. Probably not quite a slaughter, but decent. But this is why you scout at low tide. You know, some people have taught me that. Actually, a lot of people have taught me that. I've only been doing this inshore fishing probably this month, probably 3 years. And, you know, I'm going to give a shout out to some people who've helped me a lot. I hope I remember them all. But some of the more recent people, Tom Derringer Sr., I've been trading a bunch of Facebook messages with him. He's been extremely helpful. He's got 2 really tremendous sons that are great fishermen, and Todd and Tommy. And, you know, he certainly helped. David Hernandez, where I bought these boats, both Kaku boats, he's helped a lot. His lead guide, Will Neiman, he's shared a lot of information on his YouTube channel and his his fishing reports, and he's always been very forthcoming. I don't ask him for, for all of his secrets, obviously, because I'd like to see him make a living as a guide, doing this. But the guys over at Avid Angler gave me some great advice the first couple times I went. John McLean, who I fished with a number of times, he was the guy that invited me yesterday to go over by Dames Point, and I just couldn't do that because of my son playing flag football and catching that 2-point conversion. Well, the other team's trying to get a 2-point conversion. That may have been a bite. And he intercepted in the end zone and took it all the way back. I would have missed that if I'd gone fishing. I'm glad I didn't miss that. But John's been a huge help. So, and there's a lot of people I follow on YouTube, like guy not in this area is a guy named Todd Masson. He's the brother of a good friend of mine back in Memphis. But Todd, if you ever want to follow a fun YouTube channel, is Marshman Masson. He fishes out of the New Orleans area, and Todd knows how to put it together down there. Used to be an outdoor writer, and so I mean, I just think about all the people who have helped me, on the inshore game. Really, saltwater was foreign to me. I was in Memphis for 25 years and in D.C. before that. My parents really weren't much into fishing, so I didn't really get a huge opportunity to fish, and this kind of fishing was foreign to me. So this has been tremendous to be able to do this, and all the people who have been sharing, their experiences with me has been really awesome. And so what I'm trying to do, really a purpose of what I'm trying to do here, is document my journey, and talk about, here's the things I'm trying to do, here's what I'm trying to learn, and today I wasn't necessarily trying to learn anything. I was just trying to get out of the wind and get out here and go fishing. But oh, I think that was a bite. But what I'm trying to do here, these are some spots that I've fished this creek a number of times, fished it at low tide, kind of know what's here. There's probably about 6 or 7 spots as I'm going back where I feel like they ought to be, and I'm going to hit them. And especially on this falling tide, they definitely ought to be in some of these spots. So I'm going to give it a go, but I'm always trying to learn something out here. I'm trying to gain new knowledge. I'm trying maybe a different tactic, or something along those lines. That's usually what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to document that so other people can kind of follow along and maybe give me advice, or maybe I can teach them something that they're struggling with as well. But anyway, I'm going to move, but that's kind of the purpose of what I'm trying to do. Today sucked. I think I experienced pretty much all 4 seasons. Windy as heck when I first started over at Favor Dykes. Couldn't hardly move. Gave up. Came over here and rained on me probably about 15 minutes after I got here. Windier than all get out. Just really, that was really tough. And then it turned out beautiful. I mean, there's hardly clouds in the sky, beautiful sunset, comfortable temperatures, bugs everywhere, no wind, and man, couldn't catch fish. I caught one, and crazy. I really expected more today, but hey, that's fishing. I'm out here. It's January 13th. It was 77 degrees today. If I still lived in DC when like I grew up, I'd be fighting snow right now, so I'm happy. Anyway, thanks for watching.